emerging by the way of housing prices in India. Now, we continue to tell you how housing prices have been on a high for the past 2 years. We now have a definite figure. Housing prices overall in the country rose to 20%, above 20% in the past 2 years. We're talking about 2021 to 2023. However, in metro cities, including Bengaluru, Delhi, NCR, the number was 30%. So housing crisis, the fact that there is more demand today, less supply, is a reality. Day after day, we're discussing how it's becoming difficult for people to actually possess that dream house. The prices are rising at a very staggering rate.
Prices are rising at a staggering rate. Salaries are not rising at a staggering rate. The affordability of a home continues to be elusive for a huge chunk of India's middle class. While the news is fantastic for real estate developers and for investors in real estate in this country, it is certainly a worrisome trend as to, is buying a home finally out of reach of the Indian middle class, out of reach of an overwhelming section of India's middle class. That's the only thing that I can read from these numbers. 20 to 30% in 2 to 3 years is fantastic. If you have the cash to buy the house, if you have the propensity to be able to, put together that kind of funds to buy the house. But what happens to those who are looking for their first roof over the head? Their ability to just find that home to house their family, what happens to a huge chunk of the Indian middle class? So it is certainly a worrisome trend, and as you rightly pointed out, there is huge demand, but there's not enough supply. The question is it a matter of demand supply, or is it a matter of too much money chasing too few homes? We don't know, but what is worrisome is that that kind of surge in prices at a time when you're talking about so many job losses and the salaries not keeping in track with either inflation. I mean, if salaries are not keeping in track with the kind of inflation numbers, that's the kind of inflation you're seeing in housing prices. Housing price inflation is anywhere between 20 to 30%, especially in the big metros. So it certainly, should concern India's middle class when they read up about a headline like that.
Absolutely, and the headline, of course, is that it looks like there are too fewer houses and too many people hoping to get that roof over their head, as my colleague rightly pointed out.